students' families, and even friends to understand just what it is they do in the master's program. New ways of thinking about web tools. During the semester, the students will use web software to make concept maps, mind maps, and infographics, and they will learn how to embed this on their blogs. On their blogs, the students are able to practice effective digital citizenship by respecting copyright and licensing their works using Creative Commons. They learn how to properly cite online material. With the driving question and the digital artifacts that the students produce weekly, I can see how my students learn. But I want others to see it too. I also want my students to learn from others. Which brings me to the second part of my presentation about how I require students to share what they learn on social media. I am inspired by connectivism. Connectivism is a learning theory for the digital age. It says that knowledge is distributed across a network of connections, and learning is the ability to construct and traverse those networks. Therefore, my job as a teacher, as an instructor, is to be a network facilitator. I feel confident becoming a network facilitator as I have built my own personal learning network on Twitter. I even co-founded a weekly tweet chat on healthcare and technology called #HealthXPH. I wanted to share the experience with my students. What is a personal learning network? A personal learning network is an informal learning network that consists of people a learner interacts with and derives knowledge from in a personal learning environment. This is a Node XL map. It's a social network analysis of my tweet chat, #HealthXPH. We average 4 to 9 million impressions a week and connect with healthcare people not only from the Philippines, but from the US, Canada, Australia, and Ireland. While participation in the HealthXPH tweet chat was not a course requirement, my students enjoyed the chat and some continued attending even after the semester ended. I require my students to tweet a link to their blog post using hashtags on Twitter. So hashtags are used to mark keywords or topics in a tweet so that tweets can be categorized. As a teacher, the hashtag was useful because I could run a search in the Twitter search bar and see all the tweets of my students. I can even save the searches that I run. During the entire course, the students are asked to tweet links to the blog posts they create using the course hashtag, HI201, and if they so wish, the grad program hashtag, which is MSHI. I can see here that we have a link to the blog within the tweet, okay? And when you click that, it will lead you to the blog post of my student, answering my driving question. One other way is to actually tag me in the tweet by including my Twitter handle. So yes, my Twitter handle is endocrine_witch. So you can follow me now. HI201 and MSHI are official hashtags for our community of inquiry. A community of inquiry is a group of people used to thinking together with a view to increasing their understanding and appreciation of the world around them, in this case, the world of health informatics and of each other. Annika actually took my course 2 semesters ago, and yet she could not forget the mind maps that I asked them to make. So when she found a beautiful mind map, she had to tag it with MSHI and HI201 so that my other students could see it. Now, in the Philippines, there are still more people on Facebook than on Twitter. And so I also guide my students to help build a community of inquiry on Facebook. What you see here is a screenshot of the Facebook group for UP-MSHI. It is a closed group only for students and faculty of the program, and it has 110 members because our alumni are still part of the group. In this closed UP-MSHI Facebook group, it is not unusual for senior students doing more advanced coursework to share links to webinars that they are required to do for another course. So students of HI201 are first years, and yet they are able to participate in these webinars. So for example, gamification for health is a topic in HI201. My students attended the webinar, and the senior student who ran the webinar was able to get good feedback by reading my students' blog posts. Now, a bigger community of inquiry would be the Philippine Medical Informatics Society, which has more than 1,000 members in the public Facebook group. The members are stakeholders of health informatics in the Philippines and include not only academe, but industry as well. So as they take the course, my students post links to their blog posts on this group, and they gain valuable real-world feedback from health informatics practitioners. So, here's an example. Grace posted her assignment for the topic gamification for health. A fellow student commented, and I can say at least hindi lang like, there was a good comment. And then Isidore, one of our MSHI graduates who actually works already in the games industry, also gave a comment. And Raymond, who is with the CDC, actually tagged us and said there are a lot of mobile apps from the CDC and gave us a link. So the students were reaching out to others and learning through this interaction. In the end, my students learn, as Darren Corotpawa has said, learning selfishly but publicly is an act of generosity. So for the last part, how do I put it all together? HI 201 uses blended learning, and I am able to engage the students on the University Virtual Learning Environment, or UVLE, which serves as the learning management system for HI 201. So this is a screenshot of HI 201 inside UVLE. I hold admin privileges for the UP College of Medicine on UVLE, and all courses of our grad program are housed inside UVLE. So when I completed round 1 of the Gawad Pangulo, I was given funds to produce videos for HI 201. My first encounter on Coursera was a course called Internet History and Security, and I took that under Dr. Charles Severance. I liked how he did his teaching videos, and fortunately, he published a guide to his simple recording setup on SlideShare, and he graciously answered questions when I tweeted him on how to do things. So I strive to copy the way he did his recording setup, just as you see here. However, instead of my office, I had to record in my upstairs bedroom, which was more quiet. So what did I do? With the funds from Gawad Pangulo, I purchased ScreenFlow 5, which is a screencasting and video editing software for the Mac. I got myself a Logitech C920 HD webcam to record my headshots, a Blue Snowball USB microphone for better audio, and a small Wacom Intuos tablet with a pen to annotate my slides during the recording. And there I was, a YouTube star. Hindi pa po. So because of the Gawad Pangulo, I was able to actually have a playlist of 6 videos already for HI 201. I will be making more to cover the rest of the topics. So 2 videos for week 1, which is an introduction to the course, and another video explaining my teaching strategies, and a video each for weeks 2, 3, and 4, detailing the week's driving question, reading list, and expected output. I am not yet a YouTube star because this is a secret playlist and can only be viewed by those provided the links. So, another screenshot from UVLE, I am able now to embed these videos inside UVLE, as you can see here, where before I was only able to provide text instructions for students within UVLE, now they can see me explaining how the course will run on video as well. And what I really like about UVLE is that I am now able to re-envision pedagogy where educators are curators. So a curator is an information chemist. He or she mixes atoms together in a way to build an info molecule, then add value to that molecule. I also hold UVLE faculty workshops in the College of Medicine, and some CM faculty have expressed concern that with the internet and Google, students will no longer need teachers. I disagree, because the internet is a chaotic place, and the students need the teacher's help to navigate. I do so by curating resources for my course and make these info molecules. So this is a screenshot on the UVLE for HI 201 week 2. I have the driving question there. I have the assignment for the week, which is to make a concept map. And as you can see, I already tell them that there's a free concept mapping tool, and that's the link for them to go to. Now I have the list of prerequisite and recommended readings. What I have been able to do more with the video is to explain the driving question further. I also annotate the reading materials. I discuss on the video why I have assigned these readings and how these will contribute to their understanding of the topic so they can answer the driving question adequately. I also take time in the video, for example, to explain what is a concept map, how it is made and used. So this is my video. It's 6 minutes.
Hello. Welcome to week 3 of HI 201 Health Informatics. This is Dr. Iris Isiptan. Last week, we looked at the broader expanse of informatics as it related to global health and e-health. This week, we're looking closer to home. Health informatics in the Philippines, does it exist? From the slide deck of AMIA that you studied last week, you know that health informatics refers to clinical informatics relating or focusing to individuals and patients, and public health informatics focusing on populations and society. I hope that from last week's discussion, you have gained an understanding of what health informatics is, because our driving question this week invites us to examine the field of health informatics in our own country. The driving question is, how can we advance the field of health informatics in the Philippines? Our national hero once said, ang hindi marunong lumingon sa pinanggalingan ay hindi makararating sa paroroonan. So to answer our driving question, we must need to first ask a directed question. And that question is, what is the state of the field of health informatics in the Philippines? Dr. Marcelo traces the field of health informatics from 1994 to 2006. In this paper, he says, towards the end, and I quote, "At the center stage in health informatics in the Philippines is the Master of Science in Health Informatics program, designed to produce leaders who will push for the needed organizational and technological changes in the health sector." So my dear students, you are a part of history in the making of this field in the Philippines. But Dr. Marcelo wrote that way back in 2006. Many things have happened since then. For example, floppy disks have since disappeared. You will need to research what has happened in health informatics locally since then. Bonus question, how many graduates has the UP MSHI program produced? Now that you know the current state of affairs, perhaps now you can answer this question as well. Because if you can identify these factors, then perhaps you can suggest how to overcome them. The question is, what factors hinder the progress of the field of health informatics in the Philippines? And from there, you can answer the driving question. How can we advance the field of health informatics in the Philippines? For this week, I also included in our resource list a video on the myths of innovation by Scott Berkun. So not everyone is going to come out to be a butterfly, and as Dr. Marcelo wrote about in his paper, his high hopes for MSHI students to become leaders, I exhort you to become change agents as well, because every leader needs to be a change agent. On our reading list is a paper, Diffusion of Innovation in Healthcare by Mary Kane and Robert Mittman. It is 29 pages long, but definitely a good read. The authors explain the 10 critical dynamics of innovation diffusion. Of course, the paper draws on the diffusion of innovation concept by Everett Rogers. So as you can see here in the technology adoption life cycle, we have the innovators, the early adopters, the early majority, the late majority, and the laggards. I am hoping that students in the MSHI program are either innovators or early adopters. On this slide is a modification by Geoffrey Moore where he says that there is a chasm that exists and that needs to be crossed between early adopters and the innovators, because early adopters are technology enthusiasts and visionaries, while the early majority are pragmatists. So, the assignment for this week is to create an infographic to answer the driving question. My students from last semester were using PictoChart to make infographics, but I'm sure there are others offering the same service. There are many ways to make this infographic assignment. You can, for example, situate different elements of health informatics in the technology adoption curve. Are we here or here? How can we cross the chasm? Or how can we reach what has been called the tipping point? Or you can create the infographic using the 10 critical dynamics of innovation diffusion. I look forward to seeing your creative work at class. I'll be using the infographic rubric by Kathy Schrock to grade your submissions. Components of this rubric include topic, type, objects, data visualizations, fonts, colors, layout, information organization, and citations. This concludes week 3 in HI 201 Health Informatics. Next week, we'll talk about sustainability of health information systems in developing countries. See ya!
So every week, the students must watch my video to look for the driving question and understand my synopsis of the reading material. They view and read the list of resources inside OVLE. They then answer the driving question by completing an assignment which they must upload to OVLE for grading. They blog about the week's assignment, tweet and post links on Facebook for others to comment on their work. I then meet them in class, face-to-face, for reporting of their assignment, where I and other students can give feedback on their work. Even if it's not required, some of my students also document the feedback that they receive on their blogs. As a final assignment for the course, I asked the students to document their learning points and interactions with others on social media for HI 201. One of my students, Burr, made this beautiful infographic. It's very long because it's from week 1 to week 16. And it doesn't fit on the slide. But he summarizes what he learned for every week in HI 201. He even copied my Sanders competencies. And he said, there, HI 201 has taught me to shamelessly plug my blog to receive feedback and even give feedback to others in Facebook and Twitter. How cool is that? So, I tell my students, teachers open the door, but you must enter by yourself. This is HI 201. Welcome.
Thank you, Dr. Isip Khan, for your presentation using an alternative learning methodology. We have now reached the end of our competition. Congratulations, finalists. Well done. Before we announce the winner, we would like to extend our sincerest gratitude to our judges. As I call your name, may we request you to stand to be recognized. For Dr. Aleta Iniguez, the judges are Dr. Carlene Pilar Arceo of the Institute of Math, UP Diliman. Dr. Maricor Soriano of the National Institute of Physics, UP Diliman. For our student judges, we have Mr. Ren Thomas Marquez and Mr. Jason Gabriel. In the panel of judges, for Dr. Wilfredo Jose, we have Dr. Jose Munoz and Dr. Analisa Rollion, both from the Department of Chemical Engineering, UP Diliman. Our student judges are Engineer Mark Luis Lagura and Mr. Mark Anthony Cowell. Dr. Aimelin Dupo's presentation was judged by Dr. Annalie Hadsal of the Plant Biology Division of UP Los Baños, Dr. Socrates Letana of the Institute of Biology, UP Los Baños, and for our student judges, Mr. Christian C. Lucanias and Ms. Abigail L. Castro. Finally, for Dr. Iris Thiel Isiptan, we have Dr. Hazel Marapat Reyes of the College of Medicine, UP Manila, Dr. Grace Aguiling Dalisay, Dean of the College of Social Sciences and Philosophy, UP Diliman, and our student judges are Mr. Francis Merjudio and Mr. Andre Raimundo. As mentioned earlier, we also have UP system officials who are part of our board of judges. Vice President for Academic Affairs, Gisela Concepcion. Assistant Vice President for Academic Affairs, Rodora Asanza. And Assistant Vice President for Academic Affairs, Alisa Peleo Alampay. Thank you so much, judges. All presentations will be made available online, albeit with controlled levels of access as soon as possible. The materials are intended as seeds and models of pervasive and dynamic teaching and learning of courses that can be accessed by students through the EUP. Please visit the OVPAA website at ovpaa.edu.ph for more information on this. ovpaa.up.edu.ph. Okay, now, we are now at the moment we have been waiting for. The Gawad Pangulo winner will receive a certificate and a cash prize of 150,000 pesos. May we call on President Pascual and Vice President Gisela Concepcion to hand the prizes to our winner. The winner of the first Gawad Pangulo, a competition for progressive teaching and learning, is Dr. Iris Thiel Isiptan of UP Manila.
But before I hand this award to the winner, I just would like to congratulate the 4 finalists for the effort and the excellence that you have demonstrated. Well, this is the first time we are giving this award, so we have here our pioneer winner. So let me now hand this to Dr. Tan.
Congratulations again, Dr. Isip Tan. May we now request Dr. Concepcion to give the closing remarks.
Thank you, AVPAA Delia. This is a day to remember for the university because it's a first and it's an important milestone in our history that a Gawad Pangulo is awarded. Many of you know that there is a Gawad Chancellor Award here in UP Diliman, but there is no Gawad Pangulo yet. So the fact that this Gawad Pangulo is for progressive teaching and learning is very significant. And that just highlights how important teaching and learning are in the university. It highlights how important it is to link the faculty with our students. Our experts in content and pedagogy, mentoring and parenting the next generation of experts in the country. So we'd like to thank all of those who made this possible. There is this hidden workforce without whom this event would not have materialized. And I'd like to recognize the staff of the OVPAA that's been working hard over the last several weeks. And I have gotten feedback that this Gawad Pangulo competition for teaching and learning should continue and should be expanded and promoted and publicized, and that we should open this to faculty of general education courses. Even while we're in the transition, we are revising our G program, but we would also like to open it to different categories. So we could have a competition for undergraduate courses, and also for graduate courses. And if we get 15 finalists, maybe we can have 3 first prizes for each of these categories. So it's something to look forward to, and we will announce the next call for applications or nominations later this year. So with that, we'd like to end this event. It's memorable for me and for all of us. And we wish that you would let others in your campuses know about what happened here today. Thank you very much.
Thank you, VP Concepcion. This concludes the Gawad Pangulo competition for progressive teaching and learning. It has been a very productive, exciting, and inspiring afternoon. Thank you very much for coming. And for the 4 finalists, may we request you to come back upstage, please, for some photos. Thank you very much. Thank you, one and all.